everybody. This is Alida Hernandez, formerly Nuestro Magazine. We have just rebranded. We are Spanglish Entertainment News and everything under Spanglish Entertainment. So we have different divisions. We have publishing house. We have our podcasts. We have so many things going on right now. We got a techie side. So if you guys need any graphics, editing, things like that, helping you learn how to uh, do your own podcast, I'm here. No, so just hook us up. You can call me at 954-592-7605 and or text me. And I try to be that it's not after midnight, please, or 4 in the morning, because some people think, oh, they won't hear it. I'll just send the message anyway, right? And then you send the message, and the person wakes up because they do have their phone on, so it's kind of interesting. But so yeah, I just want to say a little bit about that. I haven't been on for a little bit, so we have been rebranding, and I'm still going through all our social media. So currently, our YouTube is Spanglish Entertainment, and again, it was formerly Nuestro Magazine. And since we have a diverse business between the magazine, doing live interviews with 3 different podcasts, it just seemed more advantageous to do something like this. So just check it out. I think it'll be easy to find us when it says Spanglish on it. Like you'll know it's us. So today I have a great guest. I have Rob Medina. He is currently the mayor of Palm Bay here in Florida. So many people don't know, Palm Bay is up in Brevard County. I used to live in Broward County, Palm Beach, and now Palm Bay. So, so 3 counties now, and it's an awesome place to live. I love it up here. I've been here 3 months, and life is different here. More human contact, like more community. People are friendly. The day I moved in, the neighbors came out to greet me. Where does that happen? I feel like I went back in time to like Little House on the Prairie, kind of thing. And all of a sudden my neighbor came out. I was scared. I go, what happened? Because when you live in Broward County, okay, or Miami-Dade County, not saying much, but there's a lot of areas kind of scary. So when people come out, your neighbors come out, I didn't even know my neighbors that I was there for 20 years. Like all of a sudden we were moving. Oh, you're moving? Like, who are you? They're like, oh, I'm so-and-so. I've been here 25 years. I go, how come I've never seen you? Like, never said hello at all. And in 2 days that I was here, I met 1, 2, 3, I think 4 neighbors. 4 neighbors. Like, where does that happen? I'm serious. People are very friendly. This is a family-oriented community. It's like for everybody, all ages, young and old. And these are my personal opinions. I just think it's a really nice place. We've been wanting to move here for a while. We wanted to have some land and be able to have a little garden, which I have grown. If JC doesn't stop me, I'm gonna have every fruit tree in my backyard. So he says, stop putting more trees. And I haven't really started yet, but so anyway, without any further ado, I want to bring in Mr. Medina, our mayor, so we can speak about Palm Bay and this beautiful city, how it's growing.
So, good evening. Thanks for having me, Alida. It's truly an honor and blessing for me to be mayor of the greatest city on the face of the earth. And I got here 36 years ago, right? And it's still that hometown feeling. But what I want to say is now we're the largest city in the entire county, and it's Brevard County. And we're also known as the Space Coast because of all the rocket launches that go off. We have NASA to our north, which is our neighbor. We have SpaceX in the same area. So there's a lot of launches, a lot of excitement, a lot of technology jobs here that we're excited to be part of this community.
That's awesome. Well, interesting enough that I guess now you call it STEM, the technology course. So before it was different.
Yes.
Before it was like MIS and things like that, data processing. So I've been in IT since PCs came out. I've been working on computers since 1982.
Okay. Okay.
So I'm like the first techie nerd, I'd say. And so I've been in the STEM world for all my life and was an IT manager and different places. And I actually worked at Harris for a year,
Okay.
right before
Yeah,
they changed over to L3.
we're really blessed. We have L3 Harris, we have Northrop Grumman, we have so many different companies here, right? I mentioned SpaceX. There's also Blue Origin. We've got Collins Aeronautics or Aerospace, I should say. There's so many different technology jobs here locally, and we're blessed to have our military bases here. The Patrick Space Force Base is one. Cape Canaveral Space Force Station is up where all the launches go on. And we also have the Naval Ordnance Testing Unit. And along with that comes these government jobs, these private companies, such as Lockheed Martin as well. So we're really blessed to have such a vibrant economy right now. And a lot is happening on the Space Coast. We are the largest city in Brevard County. Our population is 140,000, and yet you still get that hometown feel that you just described. You have neighbors that want to come meet you, want to build relationships. Still one of the friendliest places within the nation and our county. And I have to say this about this community. And I served in the Marine Corps, and I've been to different bases, military bases. There is no place that I have visited that is as friendly to our military as Brevard County. This place I fell in love with, and so much so that I decided to make this my home instead of going to the police academy in New York City, which I was scheduled to start after my Marine Corps tour.
Wow, difference. You went instead of going to New York, you came here. So I think that was a good
Yeah.
choice.
Well, my anyway, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am.
I grew up in New
So
York, so I'm a New Yorker originally, but I moved in '87, went to LA, then came here. So I've been
okay.
in three major cities. I've seen how the city is. One of the reasons we moved up here was because of it's getting too crowded. It's getting too crowded. The traffic is horrendous down south. And I was in Boca Raton, and it was horrendous.
Okay.
The construction is going on, but remember, we don't have that much space. So I looked at it, and so Boca is a third of the size of Palm Bay,
Hmm.
but it has 100,000 people. So you said Palm Bay has 140,000, but it's three
Hmm.
times the size of Boca Raton. You know, it seems like it's so that's why there's still space here because even though you have a lot of people, we still spread out.
Well, not only are we spread out, but we have a large landmass. So we're one of the largest cities within the state as far as landmass is concerned, like as far as acreage. And we continue to annex just southeast of us. So there's still a lot of room for growth. We have some type of town center development going on in the southeast within the next, I say, 5 years. So there's room, and there's some with as we grow, there's what we call growing pains, right? So the traffic is getting to be a little congested. When you think about the infrastructure, nothing like New York City, of course, but the infrastructure has got to build at the same rate. But sometimes that's the difficulties. You can't build the roads before the people come. So that's
Ah,
been the balance that we're trying to work. Right now, we're experiencing some growing pains, but we are poised to be one of the greatest cities here within our community, within our county. I'm truly honored and blessed that God's given me this opportunity to serve as mayor of this great city.
that's incredible. So I had the honor of meeting you last year, so I have to mention that at the annual Puerto Rican Day Festival and parade and everything like that. And you'll see the flyer behind me because this year we're part of that parade again. We were here last year.
Thank
Unfortunately,
you.
it rained. It rained in the afternoon and it messed up the whole evening of the performance. So my husband, my JC couldn't sing. He couldn't perform. But this year we're hoping it's in October this year, October 6th. So we're hoping that we moved it, right? So that we won't have
Yeah.
that rain, but who knows? We pray there's
Well,
no rain.
Well, interestingly enough, thank you for partnering with that parade. This will be the 27th year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
Uh,
20.
but what I'm thinking is there's a long history of that parade within our city, right? And this time I truly believe moving it, if you think about it, they used to have it in November. And so now they're moving it back to a late October, where traditionally that might be better weather-wise. I remember, I think it was not last year, but even the year before, it was really hot as you continue to try and navigate the actual weather dynamics of weather here in Florida.
Yeah, it was hot last year too. And then we had the kids from the school band, right? The marching band, which is awesome.
Yes.
And those poor kids, they were hurting. And it wasn't, and the parade is not that long, but just that little walk down the street to go to City Hall last year. So that was my first experience. I had met, well, on the phone, I had met Sam Lopez years ago, and I knew about Palm Bay. And then I told you my cousins lived up here, so I found out about Palm Bay. And it just happened. It fell in my lap, and something happened. They needed some music, and so Samantha and I, talked, and I spoke to Evelyn. They're great people, and we said we would be partnering in. So we're sponsoring part of the orchestra. Behind me, you can see a little bit, but Let me put the flyer so everybody can see that.
Man,
So
you're talking about some giants in our community. You're talking about Sam Lopez. This will forever be part of his legacy. Then you throw in his daughter Samantha as well, and then Samantha Nazario. You mentioned Evelyn Thompson. Those are giants, pillars in our community that they take the time and effort to bring a culture, an event that makes our community just come together and learn from one another. And I'm forever grateful for people like that.
yeah, they're really awesome. They've been helping 27 years. She kept the legacy of her father, and I know there's some
Yeah.
history. Tell me about the history with the Fred Poppy Park. She was talking about how there was an area from, I guess, Ponce de Leon, algo así, something from. There's something in the park, historical thing that he went, that they had like a ship that came in, that the discoveries like Columbus and all those people came to Palm
Well, it
Bay.
wasn't at Fred Poppy Park. It was at Ponce de Leon Park, which is a Brevard
Oh,
County park that's in Melbourne Beach, actually. And
oh,
you're right. Wow. That's a great memory. Thanks for bringing that up because Sam Lopez actually played Ponce de Leon. And I'm
yes.
talking about with his whole gear, the old conquistador uniform and the whole nine. He came across the beach. He was actually part of the Brevard County Historical Society that discovered that Ponce de Leon actually landed in Brevard County as opposed to St. Augustine, and that's been a debate that's been going on.
Wow.
Getting back to Sam did such a great job of portraying Ponce de Leon, and at that park, he actually got someone to build the statue of Ponce de Leon. I forget the gentleman's name. Unfortunately, I wish I would have remembered, but it's a remarkable landmark now in Brevard County, and all through the efforts of actually Sam Lopez.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've spoken to Samantha, and she's told me a lot of history. I can't remember everything, but that was one thing I remembered about the Ponce de Leon there, and her father being trying to do so much in this community, really trying to bring the community together, especially the Puerto
Yeah.
Rican community.
Yeah,
So
he took it on the chin for us. And interestingly enough, in total transparency, Sam and I were total different sides of the spectrum, the political spectrum. But I always honored him because he always fought for what was right, right? And that's what's important. I will share this though. Fran and my Sam and my dad were really good friends, and I think um, when right before Sam passed away, I had a long conversation with him, and it was in 2020. It was right after my father had passed, and he shared some stories on how he really loved my dad, and it was an emotional time for both of us. And then a few weeks later, there was so much love and compassion in that conversation that it really opened up my eyes, and it opened up my heart to Sam Lopez and everything that he did for the community. Um, and then lo and behold, just a few weeks after that, he had passed away.
Wow.
And I'm proud to say that we dedicated a portion of our roadway leading into City Hall, Sam Lopez Way, in
Oh,
honor of his
oh,
legacy.
that's so
So
nice. I
yeah,
got
yeah,
goosebumps. Oh,
yeah,
so
yeah.
Mandy will
So
be happy. I don't know if she's on today, but I'll make sure she sees the interview.
yeah,
And
yeah,
but yeah, that's awesome. That's so awesome. Yeah, he was, I got to speak to him. I didn't get to meet him in person, and it was just kind of one of those things. I was down in Miami and he was up here, so but I'm really happy I'm here and that I'm part of helping them with United Third Bridge
that's
and
awesome.
continue this legacy. So right on my with a white jacket here, that's JC Colon, that's my husband. He will be performing with his salsa orchestra. I'll just put this flyer here. So he will have salsa en control. He will be singing. He will also be backing up Tito Puente Jr. And
Awesome.
Arlene G and Jesus Manuel also salsa. So we're gonna have a lot of salsa going on. We have about 3 hours. We also have opening up with Marcus Hernandez from Orquesta Fuego, and he's from Tampa, so he's coming down. So all local artists. Everybody's local. Everybody lives in Florida, except Arlene G lives in New York, so she's coming from New York. She's Latino de la.
Okay.
And then we got some, freestyle music and, hip hop. We got Boricua Pasi. I think you met him last time. DJ
Yeah.
Oscar P. He's local to Palm Bay. He's been here for many, many years. DJ Oscar P. He's an awesome guy. Then we got some other artists that are going to be performing too. And so I think it's going to be an awesome time. And so that's October 6th. And then just to let you know too, because we're here and we do events. We did a big event at City Miramar, and at City Hall we had like, I don't know, 10 artists. It was like a 10-hour day. It was amazing, but it was so hot. The September, no, can't do anything in September. It was like 100 degrees.
Mm.
But anyway, so we are doing an event here. JC already got is going to be able to perform here in Palm Bay, July 20th. July
Okay.
20th. And it's Chef B and Sazon Criollo, Tony from Sazon Criollo. So they have joined forces, and it's going to be there where Chef B is at. About 150 people fit there. Buy tickets at the door. You can go
Yeah, I
to
was gonna say that's a pretty small place.
Yeah, that's us. So we're gonna be at Chef B's. Yeah, so everything's been fixed up. It's gonna be beautiful. You'll be pleasantly surprised. Everything's gonna be awesome. And we're gonna have, a good night of salsa with JC singing, and then he's gonna be debuting his new song. So that comes out July 16th, which is filmed right here in Palm Bay. So you like to know that too.
Yes, I would. Yes, I would.
So
Well,
anyway,
best wishes on that event. Much success. Ideally, you find a larger venue as it continues to grow. Because there are other venues out there that you might be able to fit other people.
yeah, yeah, we'll talk about that. We would like to do some other things here, and engage the community. The community needs more like engagement. I believe, just being as a resident now, some more music
Yeah,
in the town, something that people can come together, and variety of music. It could be, other things, English, Spanish, combination of both.
yeah. Have you ever heard of unified sound?
No.
So whenever you get a time, Google Joel Lopez Unified Sound. So before I became mayor, and I still continue to do this, I'm an ordained minister, and I oversee the outreach in my church, the house at Palm Bay, off of Palm Bay Road. It's called the House Church. So we have actually held the Family Christmas Extravaganza. This will be our 16th year. So this December 21st, we have everything is FREE. That's what we pride ourselves, whether they're bounce houses, electronical rides, rock wall climbing, free entertainment, hot dogs. Last time we were able to give out chicken as well, or grilled chicken. And we had over 25,000 people come through. This
Wow.
has been exponential growth over the several years. And this is something that our community has come to understand. It's a free giveaway. We actually get people donate toys. We give those toys away. We give away prizes. So we've given away bicycles. We have businesses that join their contributions, and we just distribute it throughout our community for our children and the whole nine. So look out for that December 21st. Since you're new in our community, uh, you'll see a lot of children at this event. You'll see a lot of adults. Unified Sound will be performing again. I'm grateful for them. And when you mentioned salsa and English and that big cultural, diversity of all of that, they bring it. And I'm excited that they'll be doing that again this year.
Oh, okay, that's awesome. So we'll get to learn a new music artist, and maybe we'll get them on our show because we have our Spanglish podcast that we do, and we interview artists every Wednesday. Big artists, little artists, a lot of independent artists, and we've already interviewed over 90 artists already between
Yeah.
composers and musicians and actual singers and things like that. So we really for helping the independent artists
Yeah.
because my parents were both musicians. So I know they tell me their stories, their struggles. I'm honored to still have my mother here. She's 86. She's with me here in Palm Bay, and my aunt as well. So it's us in the family, and
And that's beautiful.
so I
That's
thank you for
that's
your service.
beautiful.
Yeah, thank you for your service. I know you said you were a Marine, right?
I still am. No
You're still
longer active duty, but I'm still that gun ho Marine.
yeah, a lot of my family. I got to find out exactly, but most of my uncles, like the older generation, right? Like my father's cousins and then my grandfather's brothers and stuff like that were all like World War II,
Oh
Vietnam,
wow.
yeah, Korean War, like all this stuff. Like they were all everybody in the family was somewhere.
From Puerto Rico during the Korean War?
Some from Puerto Rico. So I don't know if they were in the squadron because the first squadron was all Puerto Rican.
Well, that's why I was
La
asking,
Fanteria.
because
Yeah, I'm not sure if they were there or not. I have to look it up to see the
La
names.
Infanteria 65, are you talking about the Borinqueniers
Yeah.
from Puerto Rico? Yeah, I had the privilege of working with the congressman that sponsored that bill to give Los Borinqueniers the Congressional Gold Medal.
Wow.
And it was signed into law back in 2014. Uh, a lot of them had already passed away, but it gave them that acknowledgement that for years they didn't receive. For those of us that don't know, that was a segregated unit, kind of like they segregated the Tuskegee Airmen, all African American pilots. The Borinqueniers were all segregated Puerto Rican infantry unit, and they fought bravely during the Korean War, and so we recognize that Congress did, and they were able to get the Congressional Gold Medal, uh, and they've all received a replica for those that were able to attend that ceremony.
That's awesome. It took so long for them to be recognized. I mean, 2014.
I I I truly believe that, and my boss even said, because I we came up with this idea. There was a group of people. We were trying to get them a stamp dedicated to them. And so it was just God's timing, the way I look at it.
Wow.
It
Well,
should have
I'm
been
happy
done
they
years
finally did.
ago. It should have been done years ago. But I remember what Congressman Pody said is we have to right this wrong. And it went over very well.
There's a lot of things that people don't know about Puerto Rico and all
Yeah,
the military. There
you're
are
right.
so many military, and then in New York you got all the policemen. I mean, there's a lot of things that as a native from the island, or if you're raised in New York, but there's a lot of things that came out of Puerto Rico. My
Yes.
grandparents came over in 1945 through Ellis Island, and even though they were American, they still came through Ellis Island. And so there's a lot of history. It's good to talk about it because people need to know. A lot of the young generation, they don't care. They don't even look it up. And
Yeah,
you know,
I always talk up those Borinqueniers. We still have one who was a Silver Star recipient. He should have gotten the Medal of Honor. You could look up his name, Silver Star recipient, Alcadio Santiago, and you'll read about that, why he got that medal. And anybody can tell you it should have been the Medal of Honor. Anyway, he's still alive.
Oh,
I
wow.
just went with him. He's 100 years old.
Oh,
He's still kicking, and I love that guy.
that's awesome. Does he live
Yeah.
here in Palm Bay?
He lives in Palm Bay. Yes,
Oh
ma'am.
my gosh, I
Yes,
gotta
ma'am.
meet him.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, that would be an
Yes, ma'am.
awesome story to speak to
Yeah.
him and his history.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness gracious, that's awesome.
100 years old, man, and you couldn't tell.
That's
So he's
great.
hanging in there.
That's like I don't know if you know music, Willie Rosario, right? El timbalero, he has an orchestra. He's 100. He just turned 100. He just turned 100 and he's
Wow.
still playing. He looks amazing.
Wow.
He has
That
no
is awesome.
wrinkles. He's like, what? Where's the wrinkles?
That's
100 years
that's
old.
great.
But he lives in the
Wow.
island and then he comes here and stuff. So he has that, like I say, the good living in the island. If you live in the
Yeah.
country,
Yeah. He lives in the
So,
mountains, maybe? Utuado? Where does he live?
yeah. I forgot now. Oh my God.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
I don't know where he is. I'm not sure where he is. But
Could it be
before I go,
that Taino blood, huh?
yeah, he does. He does. I think we all do. We still have a little drop. I haven't done my DNA yet. I got to do that.
No, I did mine. I definitely did mine. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have some
Yeah.
Indian blood too?
Oh, no doubt. Yeah. It's called Indigenous Puerto Rico. Yeah.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
awesome. That's awesome.
It's,
They say like 83% of people in the island we still have Indian blood. So,
well, I wasn't born on the island. So I was born on the island of Manhattan, but my parents are both
right,
from Puerto
right.
Rico.
All right. So before I go, I want to just show you a real quick clip, just a little
Okay.
teaser for JC's new song comes out July 16th, and
All
then
right. Come on, JC.
and then so let's see where to go. Here we go.
Y vuelvo otra vez. Óyelo. Ella es estirada, muy delicada, no cree en nada. Arrasa en su paso, cuando camina es un arrebato. Es toda una actriz, pero no con todos protagoniza. Porque su galán en la cartera debe tener visa. Pero en las noches sin estrella.
All
That's a
right,
little.
JC. That was hot. That was good.
Did you
That was
recognize the
good.
place?
Yeah, man. That's awesome. Yes.
So it's filmed right here
That's
in Palm Bay with Palm Bay people. So it's really incredible. So like I said, people are really friendly up here. Got to
that's
make friends
that's
already.
great. Well, it's about community, right, Alida? That it's
Yes,
about
it is.
community, and I love
It is.
that.
It is. It is. So I'll have to pretty much cut this short because I have my podcast starts at 7 o'clock. So if anybody's around, they can see Spanglish Music Cafe. We have two artists that we're interviewing today, and that'll be at 7 p.m. right here on our channel. So so Rob, just really quick, I know you're running again. You're for mayor. So, and we hope that you continually stay here. So I got my voter registration card already. I know where to go. So
That's
I tell
awesome. Our
everybody,
election is August 20th. I'm proud to say I'm endorsed by the sheriff, Wayne Ivey, our state attorney Phil Archer. I'm endorsed by several individuals like the former Senate President of Florida, Mike Herodopoulos. I'm also endorsed by the former Speaker of the Florida House, Steve Christofoli. So those endorsements mean a lot to me. They see what I've done in the community, and to get that level of trust is something that I'm really proud of.
that's awesome. That's awesome. And then we'll do another interview at another time. We'll talk about more things going on in Palm Bay and what
Good.
you see the future is about. And we'll do this often and you'll be in the magazine as well. So we'll have to come by your office and see you in person one of these days too.
That's cool. Remember, in Palm Bay, we're working towards creating more jobs. That's been my mantra. That's been years ago. There was an ideology of it being a suburb or a bedroom community, and that's unsustainable. But that has been my focus: is to create jobs and create that type of wealth for our children and our grandchildren.
That's great. So that means if people out there want to start a business, come to Palm Bay and talk to Rob Medina.
Yeah, I love entrepreneurs. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You're absolutely right.
So that way we can get more stores because stores are there's stores, but sometimes you have to drive a little further to look for something. It's not, so I know they're building some new stuff down here on Emerson, and but the community is so beautiful. There's still a lot of space.
You know,
So
you talk about small business, man. Look at Henry's Cafe. You mentioned Henry's Cafe in the beginning. Look at Cocina Cafe, right there by Publix and Malabar Road. Those are two Latin American entrepreneurs that are actually profiting because of our product. We love to break bread, right? And
yeah,
man, do they have great bread and great food. And we share our culture as well. So I'm really proud that there are individuals that are investing in our community. I think that's critical because just a few short years ago, we didn't have that.
that's awesome. And that's awesome. So well, we'll continue to see the growth, and everybody will start learning about Palm Bay through Spanglish News here. And thank you, Mr. Medina, for taking the time to speak to me. And I hope you have an awesome week.
Well, thank you, ma'am, and welcome to Palm Bay. God bless you.
All right, thank you. God bless. So everybody, that was an incredible interview with the current mayor of Palm Bay. And so if you have never been up here, remember July 20th, JC will be performing, and I'll see you in an hour because we'll be back in an hour with Spanglish Cafe. So thank you so much for tuning in. Alida Hernandez, Spanglish Entertainment News.